All right, guys, happy Friday. Well, that's loud. I am going to be talking about how to be too creative to ignore, number one. Number two, I'm going to be talking about AI, okay, hot button issue, hot button topic. And then, of course, I'm going to talk about the fact that Q4 is coming. All three huge, big, tremendous subjects. And I'm really happy to be back and doing some live broadcasts again, because those of you guys don't know, art storefronts, okay, 80,000 person Instagram account is victim to all the same meta shenanigans that you guys are victim to, personified in this case by the fact that we lost our Instagram account for like 3 weeks. 3 weeks we lost our account, fighting, clawing every single solitary day to get it back, and finally did get it back. So I'm very, very happy to be able to broadcast live again. As always, if you guys have questions, all you have to do is leave them, and I will try to answer as many as I can. But I want to start off with this notion of how you can be too creative to ignore. Okay. Like one of the questions I get all the time: what should I put in my reels? What content should I post? I'm not getting enough engagement. I'm not getting enough feedback. I'm only getting 1 or 2 likes here. And a great way to contemplate solving that is to be too creative to ignore. Come up with an idea that is so outside of the box and is so cutting edge and is so new that it stops people in their tracks. It's a great way to think about your art, because your art, your photography ultimately needs to stop people in their tracks. That's what it has to do. If we were talking about the retail example of this, if your art was in the storefront windows and I was walking by the storefront, you got to stop me in my tracks. That art has got to be so good that it literally stops me from walking, gets me staring at it and looking at it. This is even more amplified when all I'm doing is just thumbing up my phone, looking at things. Your art has got to be so creative that it stops people in their tracks. And I think it's a great, great way to think about it. And I don't just want to talk about it. I want to give you an example. Okay. I want to give you an example that I saw that absolutely stopped me in my tracks because it is just so doggone creative. I can't even believe it. And I don't know this guy. He's not a customer. I've never met him, but his name is it Alex? Yeah. No, it's Alejandro Cartagena. He's a photographer in Mexico, and he has one of the most creative series, okay, I have ever seen. This is just so doggone creative. I can barely even contain myself seeing it. He got somewhere in Mexico, central Mexico, I think. He stood above, like on a freeway overpass, okay? And he would do this either in the morning or the evening, presumably when people are going to work. I don't even know. I need to like get more details. And he would take photos of how many guys were in the back of the truck, either sleeping on their way to work or sleeping or whatever on their way back from work. And it is honestly one of the most creative things I have ever seen. Like, this is just not something that people have taken photos of. And he's got like 4 or 5 series that he's done of this. And it is so creative. I mean, it is just, it will absolutely, the minute you see it, what is this? Get out of here. Not now. The minute you see it, you're like, oh, that is just so good. That is just so creative. And I get like these, these Lewis Hine vibes from like back when I studied photography in college. And, Lewis Hine would like he was trying to expose child labor. So he would like sneak into factories and get these incredible photos of these like 9-year-old kids working on like, looms and stuff and doing industrial manufacturing. Now, he was trying to expose underage child labor. That's not what this guy's trying to do. This guy's just doing reality. And, I don't know why it just stopped me in my tracks. I'm trying to get another good one, but he's got like 4 books of it. And I'm starting to see like a normal pattern where on used to be Twitter, now X. Might as well just go back to the ones that I can see. I don't want to go scrolling down his feed forever. But on now X, used to be Twitter, like more and more artists that are stopping people in their tracks are starting to be seen on Twitter, and they're just blowing up in exposure. And yeah, Jay's like, this is so dangerous. It is, but in the United States, it's, when I was a kid, I remember it used to be legal that you could like ride in the back of a pickup truck without a shell or anything, and then it became against illegal and you couldn't do it anymore. But like the rest of the world, this happens, right? So I thought this was just so interesting, and such a a novel approach of doing it. And there's just something so incredibly human and touching about it. Like these guys are all going to work, grinding all day long, and the truck's not big enough, so they have to sleep in the back. So I just thought it was like a mega creative look on things, right? And Christy's asking me like, well, how do you step out as an artist? When you're in your closet or whatever, you're at home painting, and right, it's like the way that I look at it and the way that I think about it, it's just a great framework for how one might want to approach their work. Is like, think about how you can be so creative you physically cannot be ignored. And you can contemplate this through your subject matter material, doing something that's just completely out of sight of the box, doing something that's so creative only you see it. And I think it puts you in a great frame of mind, because it's not like you're just creating social media posts to be great. You're going to the source, which is your art, your photography, what you're displaying. And I think a great start to this is like, consume the stuff that is so good that it stops you in your tracks. And when you see that stuff, likely you're going to be on it. So I will continue sharing more of these. And I actually have someone on my team reaching out to him. This guy wants a free art storefront site. I will pay for it just to get this guy in, because I find this work so insanely good. And I looked at his website and it's terrible. So Juan, who's in my team, who lives in Querétaro in Mexico, is literally emailing this guy right now. That's how good his art is. That's how good I think it is anyway. Number 2, okay, I'm wading into the hot button issue that is AI. And I want to talk about it, okay? I want to talk about it. I know it gets artists really flustered, so to speak. And it's like, a very much a, contentious issue. I am not going to talk about AI to generate art, to create art, okay? I'm going to talk about the ways that I think you guys, creatives, need to be leveraging AI to get better and better and better at what you do, and to move faster and faster and faster. And perhaps more than that, you guys, to save time so you can get back to creating, okay? So you can get back to creating. And, big surprise that like a whole lot of us at Art Storefronts are huge technology nerds, okay? And always have been. So we've been experimenting with all these various different AIs and playing around with these large language models, and spending some time on ChatGPT and trying X's version and trying Anthropic Claude and using even Facebook's one. And one of the early test cases that we've seen that is so incredible, okay, that's so incredible, is having AI help you title your pieces and write your descriptions. Having AI help you title your pieces and write your descriptions, okay? And so with ChatGPT now, if you have a premium subscription, you can go into ChatGPT, upload your image, okay, and say, please help me write a description for this image. And the AI scans the image, comes back with the description, and you have the beautiful description that was written for you, right? Now, it's not perfect every single solitary time, but it is so much better than starting with a blank page, you guys. And you can have the description written in any tone of voice you want, right? You could say, write the description for this piece in the tone of comedian Dave Chappelle, and it will go and it will do that, right? And yeah, in Perine's like, she just did this yesterday, and it's like, how much time has it saved me? The problem is that there's a number of different problems, okay? And this is what we're attempting to solve, and I can't wait for you guys to hear this. But how do you get it to write in your tone of voice? How do you get it to remember what your tone of voice is? Okay. How do you get it to fit into the right content boxes, and which model do you use? And do you have to pay for a premium subscription? And what does that look like? And we realize that if you're not like a hardcore computer nerd technology freak, like some of us at Art Storefronts, you're never going to figure this out on your own. You're never going to go and do it. You're not going to figure out how I can save your voice or which one to use and pay for yet another thing. So we're creating our own. We are creating our own, and it's already underway, and it's absolutely going to be awesome. And what we're planning on doing with it is just using some of the existing tools that are out there to come up with our own version that literally just makes it easier for artists and photographers to do everything that they need to do, that they could possibly leverage AI for. So yes, it's things like titling your pieces. Yes, it's things like helping you with your artist statement. Yes, it's things like giving your pieces a description. Yes, it's things like, hey, can you take the description of this piece and help me write an Instagram image carousel in 3 or 4 slides so that I have a carousel to post to Instagram. Okay. And we're hard at work on this thing already. I just launched the Instagram account for it like sometime this week, a couple of days ago or whatever. It's going to be called arthelper.ai. We already have a website up on it, and we are very, very close to coming out with the first beta version. And what's going to be awesome about this is it's like a whole new product, you know, in addition to what we've normally been doing at Art Storefronts. We are going to open it up to absolutely everyone, whether you're a customer or not. And we have a list that we started. So if anybody wants to get an early invite and try this thing out and have it help you title your pieces, like, do you realize you're going to be able to go into this, upload 30 pieces that you've created, and just say, can you please give me a title and a description for all these 30 pieces? And boom, they're all done. They're all ready to go. And you can edit them. You can change them. You can say, do it in a funnier tone. You can rewrite them yourselves, of course. But you guys, it'll speed things up so much. It's so wonderfully. So if you're watching on Instagram, all you have to do is leave a comment with the words AHA, A-H-A. Just type A-H-A, and I will send the invite directly to your inbox. And the minute that we release this thing, we'll give you beta access so you can start playing around with it. But I'm so excited for what it's going to do. And obviously, if you're an Art Storefronts customer, you know, you're good to go. And I'll pin the comment. Aha. Yeah, you got it. You guys are getting it. All you have to do is aha, and yeah, we're gonna send access. But I'm so excited because we have this incredible new dev on staff, a developer, right? And he brings all these crazy capabilities. So I am literally going to have like carte blanche to what I want to cook into this AI thing, right? And I look at your guys' Instagram descriptions, not your Instagram, your profile, okay, descriptions. And I'm like, I need to edit every single solitary one of them. So I am going to have baked into the AI, okay, it is going to save your artist statement, okay? It is going to know what your subject matter material is. It's going to have some personal details for you. And you're going to be able to say, can you please help me write my Instagram profile? And it's going to go and spit it right out. All you got to do is going to have the emojis you copy and paste in every single solitary one of you, okay? We'll finally have a properly dialed in description. Which I'm really, really excited about. So all you have to do, you guys are getting it with the comments, AHA, aha. You have to like constantly make these keywords, by the way, when you're trying to get this stuff to work. Something that you can type on the phone with no automatic correct. And for whatever reason, aha was the easiest one I could do. So this thing's probably a couple of weeks out, I would guess. A couple of weeks, a month. But what we'll do is, and I promise I'm not going to spam your email or anything like that. But we'll send like, hey, here's beta access, get in, kick the tires, let me know what you think. Let me know how else we can make this thing absolutely awesome for what you guys do, because I know what the ball game is, okay? You only have so much time. You need to devote that creativity towards creating the work, and the rest of the time you need to work on your marketing. You don't need to be worrying about SEO. You don't need to be worrying about descriptions. You don't need to be worried about any of the rest of that nonsense. And so the more of that stuff that we can snatch off your plate, the more you're going to be able to work on the things that actually matter to get you guys selling more art, more photography. So I'm like mega excited about this. I'm going to be talking about it all the time, but yeah, it's going to be called Art Helper AI. And I'll send you guys all a DM, anyone that put aha in the comment. And I might as well just pin this comment aha for early access. And sorry, it only works for the people that are watching on Instagram. I didn't have time to stitch the whole thing up to Facebook too. It's just how it goes sometimes. So anybody that wants to leave that comment, aha, and it'll work if you watch this after the fact too, not just on the live. Oh, did I make it work on the live? I don't know if I did. Anyway, I'll have to make sure that works. So you'll hear me talking about this all the time. Next, I've been hammering the podcast recently, you guys, and I've been doing a ton. Of course, it's not on there now. Where is it? I've been doing a ton of these artist interviews recently, and there's like no rhyme or reason to it. I'm basically just grabbing like, you know, artists on the platform of every stripe imaginable. Okay. Let me see if I can get to the actual channel. There it is. Of every stripe imaginable, different age groups. Okay. Different everything. You know, photographers, mixed media, fabric artists, old, young, in this country, out of this country, and everything else. And these interviews have just been so much fun. And I've got, how many have I done? I've done, let me just see on the playlist. No, that's not it. This is the one. Yeah. So the recent ones, Kelly. I did one with this guy, photographer Dan Sundahl. I did Betty Franks. I did this one, Humble Donkey Studio. This guy is like killing it, okay, with an art gallery in a town that's population 87. Okay, how do you do that? That's insane. That's like ridiculous, right? I got Meg in there, I've got Joan in there, and then Hava, like, who's a great customer. But I have so many of these coming through, and you know, I did one yesterday that blew my mind. Okay, you guys have got to see this for just inspiration. But her name's Betsy May. It's not gonna let me play the actual video because of the screen share thing. I don't even have it up. You guys got to tell me what's not up. So here it is, Art Marketing Podcast. It's in the link tree. You can find it on YouTube. Highly recommend you guys subscribe. Sorry I wasn't showing that off the whole time. But what I did yesterday blew me away. So it's this artist, Betsy May, and it's not going to play, so I can't really show it. I can only show the thumbnail, which is annoying. It's on the live tab if you go there. This gal is 20 in the dorms at the university, not in the dorms, but a college student, a junior college student at the University of Miami, and her art. Let's see if I can pull her art up and actually show you guys. It was just really cool to like interview someone that was so young, and her art like taps into the tweenie generation. So, you know, the girls that are like 8 to 12, and she's killing it. This girl is killing it. She's going to school full time. Okay. Full time. She's not even emailing her list like regularly. And here she is. Look at this. Okay. 28,000 followers. Okay. And, you know, she has this like kind of cheeky, like funny art. A lot of it's pink, and these young girls are just buying it like crazy. Their moms, more likely, right? And she's got a huge business on her hands, and she's not even done college yet. So I've got so many great episodes coming for you guys in there, and I'm really, really working hard. And oh, by the way, it's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify too. You can just search the Art Marketing Podcast. But because all the recent ones are video and some of them are so engaging, I just recommend you subscribe on YouTube, so you don't miss it. They're awesome. And you guys can ask any questions you want on there at any point in time. I literally respond to everything. So important concept to note, important thing to look at. And I would also say that I'm just going to keep coming with more and more different artists, different stripes, different ages of the game, huge social media followings. They're in their first week, everything in between, because I'm finding that I'm just learning a tremendous amount on every single solitary one. And it really just has been great in that capacity. So Zach, you've got questions? Then ask them, Zach. That's what this is for. As a final, okay, those of you guys that have followed us for a long time, you know this comes up every year. All right. My kids officially went back to school on Wednesday, which tells me everything I need to know, which means Q4 is coming. The fourth quarter, summer's over, the party's over. We have September, October, November, December. Q4, which is really only the last 3 months. More art will sell in the fourth quarter, as it does every year, than usually the other 3 quarters combined. And that season is coming up. So now is the time, if you've been sitting on the sidelines, not taking your marketing seriously, not posting regularly to the socials, not emailing your emails, you have to warm these folks up, okay? Because Q4 is coming, and it's going to be an absolute game changer, an absolute game changer. And so you're going to start to see all the banging of the drum incessantly that we do at Art Storefronts to try and motivate you, inspire you guys. It's, you know, it's essentially the marathon is coming, the fourth quarter, the big race, which means if you're not training right now and you're not doing your short little runs and your 1 mile, your 3 mile, your 5 mile runs, you are not going to be ready to try and capitalize when people spend more money a year on art than at any other time all year long. It's just a huge, 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 tremendous season. So I want you guys all to get going. Okay. I want you to get, yeah. Kuz Photography is like, time for me to get moving. Exactly. And I'm like, look, I will bang the drums as much as I can nonstop to try and motivate you guys and inspire you guys. But it's like every year, and this is our 10th year in business. Every year, the graph just spikes in Q4. It just does. More gifts. It's the buying season, and it's just a big deal. So we have to start getting ready, which means you have to start marketing. Okay. You have to get your art up on a website. People need to be able to purchase it. You need to have samples. There's all these things that we need to do. So I'm going to be running through the list and the check down and getting you guys fired up and trying to inspire you and showing you people that are really, really doing a great job at this. Okay. Because it's just the one time a year, you know, it's the one time of year that you have to go for it, that there's no excuse not to. The rest of the year, if you're like, I'm too busy, I will let you off the hook. But now is not that time. Now is not that time. Like, sales will start in October, and the Black Friday, Cyber Monday buying season, that is just how things work in the world that we live in the Western world that we live in. There's only the people that are in it and taking advantage of it and the ones that are not. That's it. That's it, because it is just such a huge, tremendous season. So I want everyone to get excited. I want everyone to get fired up for that. Let me see this comment. As an artist, I consider myself a dark artist. I draw in pen and ink in most of my pieces. I make are mainly paper, unframed. How would you work with this with Starfronts? It doesn't matter, Zach, what it is. The art gets scanned. The original pieces of paper are the originals. You offer prints on the rest, and you start marketing. There's really like no special type of an artist, really, at the end of the day. Every single solitary one of you needs more eyeballs on your creations. If you can get the eyeballs on your creations, you're going to know whether or not you have something that the market wants. If you do, game on. You have a business and you start running. But you're never going to find out if you don't get the art in front of eyeballs. So it changes absolutely nothing in terms of those pieces. You can still scan those. You can still offer reproductions. You can still sell originals. You can still open yourself up for commissions. All of the above, Zach. So that doesn't exclude you in the slightest, right? Yeah, really excited about the art helper too. The art helper AI, which is not going to create art for you, but it's going to make your marketing life easier and easier and easier. So very excited about that. And if you're customers, you don't have to comment aha, because obviously, we have ways of finding you internally. But other than that, you guys, huge holiday weekend. Really excited for it. I hope you guys all enjoy it. And then just know, Monday or Tuesday, whenever you get back at it, it is monomaniacally focused. Ahab in the Whale. Let's go Q4. Get ready. It is going to be your biggest buying season all year long. And I want your art in front of eyeballs, warming people up, getting them excited. On that note, everybody else, have a great weekend. I'll see you again soon.